Love working with fondant? From crafting the perfect buttery marshmallow fondant to mastering the art of peeling it off a cake, we've got you covered.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you guys how to peel off the fondant off of your cake. So in case you have a fondant cake, and you're trying to peel off the fondant, maybe you don't want your children to eat it, or like in my case, you are trying to peel off the fondant to convert it to another design for some reason. Yeah, this is the video for you. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that and do it properly so that you don't spoil your cake, or so you don't peel more than the fondant actually. So the first thing you do is to remove every accessory on the cake. The first thing I did was to remove my topper and then remove all the ribbons I put around the cake. And then before you try to peel off the fondant, you have to make sure your fondant is solid. Yeah, which means if it is not already solid, you should put it in the freezer for maybe around 30 minutes. That way it firms up really well, and then you can easily peel it off just like I'm doing right now. And then the second step is for you to get a sharp knife. Yes, you have to use a sharp knife for this. You can't use a blunt knife, because what you want to do is to cut off just the fondant. You don't want to touch. In my case, I'm trying to convert this cake to another design. Yeah, so I don't want to cut it like badly or half-assedly. I want to cut it really well, so like I can put some more ganache around it and then cover it with another color of fondant for my required design. So what I'm doing right now is peeling off the fondant with a sharp knife. And if you notice what I'm doing, I am peeling off the fondant like at an angle. I'm not peeling it like from top to down. Top to down would have been easier, but that way you can control what you cut off, and you want to be able to control what you cut off, because you don't want to like dip the knife into your cake or make like really exaggerated holes, if you guys understand me. So let me just you guys a little bit. The reason why I'm changing the design of this cake to another one is because, so initially I made this cake for a customer. I made it for a baby. A baby was supposed to be I don't know, a couple of years old, and she ordered a cake and stuff, and I did what she said I should do. And then when I showed her the picture, she had some complaints and stuff, so I fixed it. And then I sent her the picture again, and she had some more complaints, and then I fixed it again. And then it wasn't about the complaints, it was about the fact that she was rude to me. She was just being unnecessarily rude. And at the beginning of this year, yes, I made up my mind that like the fact that you're paying for my services doesn't give you the right to speak to me anyhow. Yeah, I've usually been like in situations where like people speak to me anyhow, like they would just say the worst things to you just because, I don't know, just because they feel like they paid for your services, and then they can say anything. So when they say usually the worst things, I'll like, sometimes I can't stomach it. Like I'll go home and like I'll be really sad. Sometimes I'll cry and stuff. But at the beginning of this year, I made up my mind that the fact that you're paying doesn't mean you get to say shit. Yeah, so if I make you a cake and like you are rude to me for some reason, maybe you're not satisfied. Yeah, if my customers are not satisfied, usually I will like ask, okay, what is the problem, and then I'll try to fix it, and then send you a picture again. And then if you're not still satisfied, what is the problem, and still I'll fix it. But we can do that while being civil to each other, without you being degrading or saying demeaning words to me just because you paid for my services. The fact that you paid for my services doesn't give you the right to talk to me anyhow. You paid for my services, yeah? You didn't pay for my self-respect. So she was rude to me, and I decided, okay, I'm going to keep my cake, yeah, and I'm going to send her money back. So that was what I did. I kept my cake and I sent her money back. So this particular cake, I was trying to convert it to a different design. Yes, that was how I found myself in this situation. I've actually never had to peel fondant off of a cake, except maybe like at occasions where like maybe I attended a party and I made a cake, and then like they don't want the fondant on the cake. They like the decorations, but they just want to eat just the cake. So okay, so what we're going to do, if you notice what I'm doing, I peeled it diagonally, so this way it makes it very easy for you, and you have to take your time. You can't peel it in a hurry, because if you're trying to peel it in a hurry, you peel more than what you are supposed to peel. I don't know how to explain it. If you've ever peeled yam, yes, that's how you peel this. You can't just try to like peel off the fondant with your fingers. You have to use a knife. Yeah, just like you can't just peel yam with your fingers. I kind of over dipped into the cake at this point, but it will be fine because we're going to cover it again with another layer of fondant after doing that, and that's what I'm about to do right now. At this point, okay, I covered it at first in a pink ganache because it was for a girl and I wanted it to be girly, even though I was going to cover the cake in a green fondant and stuff. I wanted them to cut into it and see like there's pink inside, you know, to trip the baby. So I'm actually very intentional with my cakes, and I do them to please. Like when you order a cake from me, I'm basically trying to impress you. So sometimes I do even more than you paid for, because I want you to be satisfied. I want you to like what I did for you. Yeah. Okay, so right now we're trying to cover the cake in, because this cake I'm trying to convert it for another customer that wanted the same flavor on the same day. So I wasn't that lost in any way. It just wasted more of my time. So now I'm covering it in ganache. If you want my ganache recipe, my white chocolate ganache recipe, I'm going to put the link right up here. It says click on me. Yes, click on that. It's amazing, and it will give you like the perfect base for your fondant cakes. Like you get the perfect sharp edges every time. So you can also peel off the fondant on a buttercream cake. If maybe you crumb coated your cake with buttercream, you can do that as well. Just make sure you freeze it first, like I said in the beginning of this video. So the reason why I'm covering this in ganache is to fill up those holes that I poked with my knife, those like irregular potholes around the cake. That's what I'm trying to do. So when I cover it with my new layer of fondant, like it won't have like bumps and keloids. Okay guys, sorry, that was gross. I didn't mean bumps and keloids. I mean like it won't have like bumps and potholes. Yes, so that's what I'm doing right now. So then all you have to do is like scrape off your excess ganache, and then smoothing all around your cake, and then cover it in the desired fondant color you want, and decorate your cake all over again. It's not difficult at all. Yeah. And if you have a business and people talk to you anyhow, don't allow that. I allowed it for so long, so long, really. And it did a lot to my mind. Like there's a way, and Nigerians are actually very fond of that. There's a way they talk to you when they feel like they've paid for a service. Like, I don't know, you paid for a service, you're actually not doing me a favor. We are both doing each other favors. You want what I offer and I want your money. It goes like it is not really difficult to understand, but some people feel like the fact that they paid you to do something means like they can be rude to you. You can express your displeasure or your dissatisfaction with something without being rude to me, without being mean to me. Even if I was a housemaid for you and I do something you don't want, or like I didn't do something to your satisfaction, if you're rude to me, I should be able to remove myself from that situation without feeling bad because you're paying. Yeah, because I'm offering a service and you're offering me money. Like nobody is doing anybody a favor here. Yeah, customer is king. Your customer is always right. If you insult me, I can decide to not render my services to you. It is that simple. Yeah. And I understand my my privilege. Yes, it's a privilege actually. I understand my privilege. Not everybody has the choice to be able to say, okay, fuck you, keep your money. Yeah, but I have the choice to, so I can and I will. So thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, could you please click on subscribe right now and like this video. Actually like this video. Thank you. So today guys, I'm going to show you guys how to make professional marshmallows. No, what am I saying? I'm going to show you guys how to make marshmallow fondant for professional use. I'm telling you, I've never used regular fondant everybody uses. I use just marshmallow fondant, and it is very easy to make and it is very cheap. All you're going to need are just icing sugar, some marshmallows of course, and some butter, and that's all. So if you want to see how I make my fondant, stay tuned and keep watching. So guys, all you're going to need are some marshmallows and some icing sugar. So I make all of my cakes with this fondant. I've never used the regular one, and it works perfectly well. You can use it in molds, you can use it to make flowers, you can use it to make very delicate parts of the cake. You can basically use it to make anything. You just have to like make it to the right consistency, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that today, because consistency is very important in fondant making. Okay, so let's get to it. The first thing we're going to do is take some marshmallows, and today we're going to use the recipe I normally use. So you need 200 grams of marshmallows and 500 grams of icing sugar. And then you're going to put the marshmallows in a bowl, and then you're going to wet the bowl. Like, you're going to wet the marshmallows in the bowl. And what I like to do is, you want every part of the marshmallows to be coated with water. So I like to fill my bowl with water first and then dump out all of the water. So like, you're sure every single part of your marshmallows are wet. Because if that's not what you did, when you put it in the microwave, instead of like melting and becoming soft and pliable, it becomes like as if you're trying to make s'mores. I don't know if that makes sense. So you're going to put it in the microwave for about 1 minute. And it's important when you do this, you don't let it get too soft, because if you let it get too soft, it's going to lose the structure. So you should put it at about 1 minute or maybe 30 seconds interval. So in case your microwave is more powerful than mine, maybe it's better you use like 30 seconds interval twice. Yes. So when you're buying your icing sugar, it's important that you buy very smooth icing sugar. Don't buy those ones that have like big particles, because you're going to see it in your fondant and it's going to affect how your work comes out. And it means your fondant is going to sweat much more than it should. So what you want to do is buy very smooth icing sugar, and it's important that you sift it first. There are days I'm working on a cake and I'm too lazy and I feel like I don't want to sift it, it looks smooth. And then I try to make the fondant and then I get lumps in my fondant. And that way, like, it stresses you out like times 10. So like, to save yourself the stress, just sieve it. Like, it takes maybe 10 seconds. Just sieve it. Like, it will save you a lot of stress. So what you want to do first is to sieve it on top of your mat, because you're going to make the fondant on a mat. The reason why you're using a silicone mat is so it doesn't stick. So if you intend to make fondant, please invest in a good silicone mat. It is very cheap. It's about maybe $3-4 maximum. So guys, the next thing you want to do at this point is take your marshmallows out of the microwave and see what you should have. You don't want it to be completely melted, because you don't want it to be gooey. You just want the structure to break down a little and be soft. So you're going to mash it, the remaining structured part, with your spatula. Do you get what I mean? Like, you don't want it, yes, you put it in the microwave, you can melt it completely into like almost liquid, but that's not what you want. This is the consistency you want. You want it to look like you made a meringue, or if you've never made a meringue before, you want it to look like I don't know how to explain this, but can you guys see what I'm talking about? Like, it is not too liquidy, it is just soft marshmallows. It's not like I added water to it. You're not adding water to it. The water is just to make it like not become s'mores in the microwave, to make it wet. Yes, so it's just marshmallows we have in this bowl. It's not like you added water to it, you're just wetting the marshmallows, if that makes sense, because that's very important. Otherwise your marshmallows will be too soupy, and then when you make fondant with it, it becomes too soft, and then it is not pliable, or it is not like, I don't know, it's not, you want it to be drawy. Does that make sense? I'm a Nigerian. What is drawy? You want it to stretch, yes, without breaking. Yes, that's the word. So when you do that, make sure like you don't add water to it. The water is just to make your marshmallows wet, and then you drain out the water. So what I did was I stirred it like really well. So like I broke every lump in the marshmallow, and then I poured my icing sugar into it and scraped out the bowl onto my silicone mat. So what I'm going to do next right now is I'm going to use my hands, and we're going to make our fondant. So now it is time to knead. And how you knead this is, you don't want to dip your hand into it, because that way it becomes very messy and sticky. So you're just going to be patting the icing sugar on top of your marshmallows. Don't worry, it looks like you're just playing with it, like it won't combine, but don't worry, to get the work done and it will combine really well without becoming too messy. So if you notice what I'm doing, I'm patting the extra icing sugar. I know it looks like icing sugar is much, but it is not much. Just make sure you measure correctly and do exactly what I do, and you're going to get the perfect marshmallows, guys. Like, so just keep patting the icing sugar on top of the marshmallows. Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do this until it is well combined and smooth. And if you notice, I already sifted it, so it is already smooth. You're just patting the icing sugar into the marshmallow. So can you see it is getting easier to knead? Like now when I'm trying to knead it, my fingers are not dipping into it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take all of the extra icing sugar all around it, pack it in one place, and try to knead everything into the fondant. Make sure like everything you sifted, because we are measuring, you measure to the T. That's the only way you're guaranteed to get the required result. So measure to the T. You need 200 grams of marshmallows and 500 grams of icing sugar. Smooth, well sifted icing sugar, that's what you need. Don't worry, it looks like the fondant is formed right now and you don't need any of this excess, but you do need them. So the more you knead it into it, what I like to do is to pack the excess icing sugar and put in the middle of the marshmallows and try to squeeze it together until everything absorbs. It makes it faster and easier to knead the extra into it. And then when you do this, you notice it's becoming very hard and it is not as pliable as you want it to be. So once you do this, you want it to be hard. Yes, don't worry, at this stage it is hard. I'm going to show you how to soften it and make it pliable and easy to use after this. So now you're going to scrape all of the icing sugar from the sides again, because you want to incorporate everything you sifted on your silicone mat into your fondant. So you're going to pack everything and knead every bit of the icing sugar into your marshmallows. Yes, that's what you want to do. So at this stage, most people use Crisco or vegetable shortening, but that's expensive where I live. I live in Ukraine, so I use butter. And I found that butter doesn't really change the color, and it doesn't change the taste, and it doesn't change the texture, and it gives you a really nice fondant. So why waste so much money buying Crisco when you can use butter, guys? So, but it's important to know that you should use unsalted butter. I use unsalted butter to make my buttercream, so I don't have to buy extra butter for making fondant. So make sure it is unsalted butter, because you don't want to be serving your customers salted fondant. You get? Okay, so can you see how pliable it's becoming? But it is not even pliable enough yet. You want it to be really pliable, like when you fold it, like it molds into one as best as possible. So we're going to add some more butter. I don't have a measurement for how much butter I add. I just want it to get to a particular consistency. Do you get? And I'm going to show you guys how to get there. The more butter you add, the softer it gets. Can you see it's becoming more pliable and more easier to work with? Sorry guys, I'm repeating myself. So when we're done with that, what we're going to do is we're going to take the fondant and put it aside and then clean up our silicone mat. And then I'm going to show you how to preserve it so it doesn't harden up when you wrap it and leave it, in case you don't want to use it that day. And it's important to know that if you make it the day, it's best you don't use it that day, use it the next day or after that, because the fondant becomes even better, like more pliable and softer the second day. Yeah, so see how soft this is, and it's stretchy. That's kind of fondant you want. And mind you, there is no CMC or Tylose powder in this fondant. It is just icing sugar and marshmallows. It is the best marshmallow fondant in the world, I promise you guys. Okay, so what you want to do right now is to wrap it in a cling film, but first you have to rub butter on it because you want it to be pliable. You don't want it to dry hard like a stone. If you just put it in a cling film like that, it's going to dry hard like a stone, and that's not what you want. So rub it in some butter and then put it in a cling film. And then the next time when you bring it out, you want to use, just pop in the microwave for about 30 seconds and then knead with some butter, and that's what you have to do. So right now we're going to wrap it, and that's all she wrote, and you have the perfect fondant in the world. And it makes the best cakes, guys. It covers anything you want to cover, and it is pliable, it is smooth. You can make flowers and all sorts with it. Like, it is perfect. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if it was useful to you.